Come and talk to me. Week 3 online.
All right. Y'all, we on this 7-week journey, we trying to move our mindset to relationship enhancing thoughts. And so if you were with us last week, we discussed how to develop the we mentality.
Us mentality.
Over the I. Okay.
Because I'll be by his.
Okay. So today we want to discuss making home a relaxing place, a place where you enjoy living and where you can enjoy one another. So we're saying you can think about
our home as a place where I feel relaxed and not stressed. I know a lot of y'all out here may not get there yet. And look, I'm stressed. So I was asking my wife over the years, how do you think we got there?
You know what? A lot of things just come with getting to know each other better and then getting on the same page. And unfortunately, that's a lot of up and down. But when you know that person is going to stick with you and stay with you through thick and thin, you start relaxing yourself and start putting your best foot forward. There's just so much people leaving and feeling like because they stressed out, they ain't going to do this no more and I'm just leaving. I think that kind of adds more stress to the equation, but just being here and knowing that through thick and thin, we're going to try our best to stick together. And then that's when you go to God as believers. And so he helps you. And I know it was a lot of prayer on both our parts, and God helped us, to be honest.
Yeah, for me, it was my wife explaining things to me. I talked about it before. She would come home and want to unwind, and she was honest enough to tell me, give me 30 minutes, give me 40 minutes so I can unwind. Because sometimes you want to talk about everything that's going on today. So we made certain times when we talked about certain things, and then we talked during the day. Always guys ask me, you call your wife 3 times a day?
Yep.
I said I call her when she get to work. So I know she had to fight through that traffic. I call her after lunchtime because I know someone then got on her last nerve, and I call her on her way home. So by the time she gets home, she's all talked out with me and I can watch TV and do what I want.
Yeah.
But it relieves the stress because we're talking all day. And by the time we get home, we can focus on ourselves.
And I wanted to just say, too, we all come to things at a different place in our lives. I was just sharing with my husband, I wasn't always able to come home because in my past, there were times that I really did not want to come home. I would go shopping or I would ride around. I would go sit by myself and pray somewhere because home just wasn't a place I wanted to be. And it might be out there that's going through that right now. I just want to encourage you to hang in there and keep your focus on God. Let him do the work, rest in him, and know that he will take care of you and he will fix whatever you're going through if you continue to give it to him. And it takes 2 people to want to make a home a happy place.
Just in case y'all thought that was
for
me. It wasn't for me.
Yeah, y'all know we had another life before we got
That's
married.
right.
So, I'm just saying that somebody, a lot of times we don't know who we're talking to. And that was just something that dropped in my spirit. So it says one of the things you can do is think about it when your spouse helped you to after a stressful time. This is where when you want your relationship to work, instead of thinking about the stress, think about how you can make some things better for your spouse that will actually help them relax. She asking for a massage, a foot massage, a back massage, a kiss, a hug, whatever. Obliged.
Okay.
What can you think of, babe?
Hey, look, I got it made. I'm spoiled, so I'm good.
All right. So you're thinking we have common goals. What are some of the things that you have in common that really make y'all work together as a team? Because when you feel like you're in something together, it just helps you get more of a focus with one another. And so one of the common goals that we've always had it's been something that we could always talk about, we could always debate about. My husband is quite different than I am in how I express myself about God. He has a different way, and it's a way that works for some people. So what we have in common, we have that we both love our children, we have good relationships with siblings, and I said good. I didn't say great. I didn't say that we always get along, but our siblings know that we love them and they love us.
So here's some of the goals that my wife instilled in me. When we first got together, she was a widow. So one of the common goals was to make sure that each one of us were taken care of if one of us passed away while we still owed on the house and all that. So
By what? By getting insurance.
yes.
Okay, we didn't say that, but
I couldn't get my words out, y'all. I couldn't finish my thing.
Go ahead, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you. So she explained to me about insurance because of what had previous happened to her. I had insurance at my job, but after she explained to me everything she went through and all that kind of stuff, my eyes were open. So we had the common goal to make sure each other were taken care of if one of us was not around. That was one. Having our home paid off before we retire. Vacations. She needs to take vacations. So we have that goal. We always have goals in our ministry, things that we want to do, and it changes over the time. But throughout our relationship, we have always had goals together. You have your own dreams and hopes, but we encourage you to have something together. So the do is, and this is things that we say, think about, these are things to do. List two such goals for each other. For y'all together. Think about how it will feel to achieve them. Together. I know this seems like a lot of work and we thought about it, but I tell people, if you can put in, I always say, if you can put all that work in what does it mean to come home and do these 10, 15-minute exercise to expand on your marriage and to strengthen your marriage and to build up your marriage? Then doing these kind of stuff, invest in yourself. And that's why we're doing this, because we want each one of y'all, just like we're doing, we want you to invest in each other.
I want to add to that too, when you said that about us having goals. Sometimes when you are going through different trials and tribulations in life and you're just doing life and you're feeling overwhelmed, you don't see all the things that you've accomplished. But if you write in, a goal is something that you need to write down so that when problems come and you start feeling like you haven't really done anything or accomplished anything, you can look at your goal and say, we have done that. Even if it's one thing, it is uplifting to know and to see that you have at least done that one thing together. And it makes you feel good. And it's a point in your relationship that it makes you turn around how you think about each other. Instead of, we got all these problems together. Oh, we worked good together. We did this and we did that. So it's important. That happened one year in our life that we were real discouraged about things. And my husband was saying, I don't feel like we did blah, 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 blah. But we had written our goals down and I went and got the list and showed it to him. And he was like, oh, so write your goals down. It's important.
Yes. Very important. And it made me feel better, and it'll make you feel better to know that you are accomplishing things, because we go through the dodgers of life and sometimes you just feel like, man, am I really stuck? But then when you think about it and you've written down goals, you find out that you are moving in that direction. You can see the light, in other words.
Yeah. And sometimes you may not accomplish all your goals, but when you see that you started on them, even that's urgent.
You can go.
All right. So another thing to think about, our details about deciding to get married. Our details about deciding to get married. What were your details, love?
My details were, I put it in the paper. My details were letting people around me know about it. I had a lot of little details, but I was so sure about it. I didn't know how everything was going to be done, but I was so sure about it. And being the male, I really didn't worry about anything. I'm like, we're getting married. And it's more my wife. We're going to do a little marriage and a big marriage and then everything just changed. And I just go with the flow. The thing I remember most is I left one day when we decided to get married in our pastor office. It was her pastor at the time, and our bishop now, Bishop Dickerson of Day Strength Family Church in Irving. I was like, okay, we'll get married in his office, because we were worried and didn't want to put no stress on about remarrying. Us getting, both of us had been divorced. So we didn't want to put that burden on him, but we talked to him. He explained he was good with it. And then when I got home off the plane, got on the phone, talked to my wife, the wedding plans had changed.
Ladies, we have that prerogative to change our minds. And so my mind, because I just got to thinking about how much I wanted my family involved and wanted them to be there, because this was the first time in my having been married that my pastor was going to marry me, and I was getting married in the church. And I just wanted our to share that with us. And so before we move on about that, we had a question come that says, what happens when life changes your goals? You want to
I
answer
have
that?
this, I love poetry. So a dream delayed, is it a dream denied? The goals that we have that we made together, yeah, sometimes we didn't have the time, sometimes we didn't have the money, sometimes a family member, something, but the goal didn't change. What changed was how long it was going to take to get the goal. What's another way to get the goal? So we understand when things happen in each other's lives that the goals that we set, we still believe that God put them inside of you, still try to achieve them. But yes, they're going to change. You're going to be a caretaker, or you won't be able to travel the way that you thought you would be able to travel. You know what I mean? Maybe not anymore, no long distance travel, but short travels. You can go on the internet now and see the Louvre. You can go in there in the Louvre and see all the pictures, and you can see the Eiffel Tower. You can say it for Eiffel Tower. I can't get nothing out today. But what I'm saying is you modify and you change and you keep, because that's constantly.
Modification.
Yes. So that's a good thing. Appreciate the question.
Yeah. Big, and life is changing all the time. So we have to see how we can regroup with that goal, or if that goal needs to happen in a different way, because we don't never know what life is going to bring.
And you know what that means? Me and my friend Ray talk about this. Not waiting till some time to do what's in my spirit.
You mean sometime in the future?
Yes, there. So if you, like, it took us a long, this, what we're doing now was, we thought about it over 20 years ago when we first got together. I talked about doing this, but because of my shyness and just talking into something, it was hard for me. But we eventually got there. But yeah, do the things that you want while you can. Nobody's promised tomorrow. I've seen people retire and the Lord called them. You know what I mean? Live your life to the fullest and the abundance. Enjoy yourself.
All right. So okay, we got the details about deciding to get married. So our marriage plans changed, but we still had the wedding and we moved forward and everything went well. So it was good. There are some things about my partner that I don't like, but I can live with them. Now, when you start living with people, little things can make you feel uncomfortable or even can be irritating. I was thinking about one of my friends who she was saying she went on a trip with somebody and they started humming and it got on her nerves so bad. I hum a lot and it doesn't seem to bother my husband. Does my humming bother you? It might. He ain't never said nothing if it did. Yeah, but different little things can be irritating, but is it enough to cause a divorce over or to be arguing about every day? Or you have to decide whether I used to hear older women say to me, honey, you have to learn to pick your battles. And whether you left that spoon on the counter or them shoes on the floor should not be such a big deal, in my opinion. Okay.
In your opinion, it must have just happened just now. We were talking about just before this. We call it perpetual. There's things in our marriage that are not going to change about our personality. So before you get married, before you with that person, and they may change, you have to be able to say, okay, I can live with that. I mean, I like it. And my wife with me, she says I'm messy. I never considered myself messy, but if I leave my clothes aside or when I get finished eating, if I don't put it away right then, to her, that's messy. But she learned to, okay, he's going to clean it up. I ain't cleaning behind no grown man or whatever. She learned how to just accept it. May not like, but she learned how to accept it. And you should try. You looking at me like that for?
No, I just thought about something. I thought
You
about
got something else telling stuff? I got some other things I'm tell you now.
I thought about the Sinbad show that we saw where he said the woman was irritated at her husband because he left his clothes on the floor, and he said, "Those are not your clothes." So I look at them clothes and I say, "Those ain't my clothes." Another mind be jabbing at me, say, "I wish he would ask to take them clothes," and I'm gonna tell him, "Those are not my clothes." So I just had a funny.
So there are going to be things that you have to learn to accept. It may be things like family. I know sometimes in people relationships, one of the spouses are really close to their, it's like they're on the phone every day, and spouses don't need to talk to my family every day. I spent 20 years with a girl, and sometimes that can be irritating to the other person, which may not make sense to the person. But why would they be irritated about it? Because sometimes insecurity. Hey, why didn't you spend more time with me? Why are they up in business? So these are things you have to learn to accept. My wife, me and my family are close. When I was in Philly, we had holidays together. But my wife, her mom, and her sisters are very so close. If you don't show up for the holiday, they call you up and be talking about everything all right.
That's because they love my husband. They want to see him on the holidays. He's family.
I spent 8 years going there, probably more. It's probably longer than that, about 12 years going there every holiday. I said, look, I just want to stay home, watch the game, chill. But I got that, y'all all right? I know what they were saying. Y'all marriage good? I was like, yeah, we good. I just wanted to relax. So that happens sometimes.
It does.
But you have to know about those things, talk about those things, and not make them a big deal. So it says, and I'm going to take this word out, list one of your spouse, minor, and it says false, but what we really mean is differences that you're going to live. Because you should also tell them, don't be like, oh yeah, I don't really like the way you chew that gum. Tell them like, look, if the gum is the biggest thing I got to worry about, we good, babe. I'm not even stressing over that. But you should be aware. How's that?
Okay.
You want nothing to say?
I already said my little part.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Think. You notice all this is think before you do, right? Think
Yep.
before you open your mouth. Think
Yep.
before you say words that cannot be taken back. Think.
Think about it.
Yes.
What you say today,
That's
think
it.
about what you're trying to do to me.
Yep. So when you do these kind of exercises, it makes you get in the habit of thinking and talking to your partner before things go. Okay, think. We share responsibilities for our lives together. And we talked about that earlier. I'm the life insurance, retirement, raising children,
grandchildren.
Talking about that when grandchildren come along, what are we exactly going to do? Are we going to be that last minute babysitter? Oh, we going out tonight. The babysitter didn't come. Can y'all? We ain't got no life. So what are you going to be some of y'all share responsibilities for your lives together? Now don't just think about them and just think they're automatic. Just discuss them, because share responsibilities for you and the other person may not be the same. So y'all can come to some kind of agreement about shared responsibilities, because you need to have insurance. You need to be putting in a 401k. You don't have a 401k. You need to be putting in an IRA. How can I do it? We don't ever have, we're just surviving. Once a year when you get that income tax, drop $300 in there. Imagine if you did all that with inches over the last 10 years, or you just drop. You have a nice pretty penny. Okay. Consider the ways that you divide up chores on a regular basis. I don't think we really do that. I think it's like, if I feel like it, I'll go ahead and do it. Like that with us. But that works for us. But when you're first getting together and all that, everybody should have what they think their responsibility. Because we talked about it before. I think my wife has responsibilities for me that I was like, it really ain't me. But she like, he don't do like this and he don't do like that. And I'm like, that's not me.
Which I think we've talked about this before, you and I, if not on this show, but I think we've even on the podcast, we've talked about this, is have expectations. Even though you might feel like you shouldn't have expectations, at least need to know, what do you expect me to do? I think most women expect men to keep the car up, cut the grass, wash the car, take the trash out. Those are all, we assume that most men know how to do that. But what a woman, what if I'm better at cutting the yard or working on the car or whatever you feel like doing, because those are roles that can be interchangeable. It's like whoever feels like it, because if you cook better than me, if you wash clothes better than me, if you wash dishes better than me, go for it, bro. I'm not gonna be upset if you decide you want to do it and you want to leave the trash taken out to me. But I think the reason you need to ask what the expectations are, what are you expecting from me in terms of our duties and our chores and things like that, in terms of finances, what are you expecting? Just so you can know, so you can be more advised about what you're looking for in the relationship. Because believe me, some people don't know how to wash clothes, don't know how to mop a floor. And I'm talking conversations that I've had with coworkers who said, I don't know how to do any of that. My mother never let me learn how to do that. Don't let be a stickler. Do what you like to do.
Yes. Yep. So really take the time to figure that responsibilities in your house. The function of a man and the responsibilities, like I told you earlier, are different. Today, I posted about my wife expecting me to open up the doors for her. She expects that. And if I don't open it, she'll stand there. So I wrote on there that sometimes about expectation, have expectations. You'll be surprised what your partner will do if you have expectations for them. Because that's a goal for them to meet, a goal to make you happy. It's, oh, I know if I do this, it makes her comfortable. I know if I do this, it makes her happy. You know what I mean? It's okay. These expectations give you a good feeling of accomplishment in your. And I tell people, have expectations for each other.
And I think when you voice those expectations, it provides an opportunity for you to talk about them. It may be an expectation that maybe I can't meet or I don't want to meet. And then that's an opportunity to talk about it so the person has a better understanding of why you do or do not want to have to live up to that. Yeah. It just presents another opportunity to talk and reach some clarity. Yeah.
Talk to me. Week 3 in conclusion.
None of us is perfect, but y'all know every time you make an effort to edify with each other according to the word of God, he sees that. And it's clear that we need to use words to edify and uplift, because Lord knows the world is always tearing down and we're not trying to be a part of that. And I just want to remind you, I thought about using a different scripture, but I like this one so much that I just want to use it throughout our journey on these 7 weeks. Verse 4:29 says, do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that it may benefit those who listen. And you don't know what the needs are until you stop, analyze and look and maybe listen, so you do know what words to use to help uplift them.
Just in closing, I always talk about old school different. And I saw a debate again about dating, about women dating and men dating. And I saw a woman come on and she was like, yes, I'm going to date blue men, while I'm trying to find the right one. And then after a few weeks, she came back. She said, no, I think I wanted my position. And I tell you why I have that position. When one of my daughters was talking about it, when men do it, and I was like, you mean those males that treat you bad? You mean those males that, out there just trying to get what they can? Do you really want to imitate them? Or do you want to be the prize that you are and the gift that you are? You know what I mean? And just for the right one. Because I tell you, when you have 3 or 4, I can be nice as I want over here because I know I'm going over there. I don't have to get mad at this one because I know I can leave and go over there. So all of them will think you the nicest guy in the world because I know I can go somewhere else. And when a woman says that, a man, we automatically gonna think, is she doing the same kind of stuff I'm doing? You know what I mean? So I just want to talk about that as just the old school for me. focus on the person that she's right in front of you. If they're not up to your task and bar, move on. And also know what you. I've asked too many people when they come to me and ask me, "What's a good man?" Like the 8 I gave today. What's a good man? How do you find a good man? And I ask them about themselves. What's a good man to you? How do you feel about yourself? Do you feel whole and do you feel complete? One of the most attractive things to a man is and a woman is confidence. You'll be surprised how men love a woman who is confident, not ignorant, but confident and comfortable in who she is. Oh, you got anything to say?
I'm just listening. I pretty much said my little piece there. Just hope you guys have a good week, and I hope that if you have any questions and you joined in this evening, we thank our cousin Pam who's here listening, and maybe there are some listening who are not commenting. It's always our prayer that we reach somebody that whatever we touch on that's touching your situation, God will help you get some answers through some of the things that we talked about. We haven't arrived, but we have conquered some things with the help of the Lord, and we don't mind sharing that. And we just want to encourage you to keep trying, hang in. It's enough going on in the world without adding divorce on top of all of this. So
Yeah, you can go to our website, franandlana.com. Down the bottom, there's a part where you can get in touch with us if you don't want to put your question or comment out there or something you want to ask us. We're available and we'll try our best to answer you within that week. Have a wonderful day.
yes, and let's communicate now.
Talk
Talk later.
later. God bless each and everyone. Have a wonderful day tomorrow on purpose.
All right.
Oh, that's a short one. Look, they don't want us to end. Don't want us to end.